Safety is just an everyday way of, just a way of life.
You've got to use your brain, and you've got to work safely with the tools. Production is never so important that you can afford to hurt yourself.
Safety is basically feeling comfortable on a work site where you don't have to worry about getting hurt.
Safety means basically a life of a person.
For over 50 years, power fastening tools have played an important role in manufacturing and housing development. Back then, everyday life moved at a different pace than today's hurry-up world, including home construction sites. In today's competitive market, pneumatic tools have increased what can be accomplished in a day's work by increasing the efficiency and productivity of workers. Fortunately, people are always seeking ways to work smarter. And thanks to the many advancements in tool manufacturing, today's power fastening tools, when used correctly, provide many important safety features. Tool users, employers, and suppliers alike know that encouraging safe work habits for all helps achieve a healthy and productive workplace.
As an employer, I'm concerned about the health and safety of my workers. One, I'm concerned about my insurance rates. Two, I'm concerned about bringing that person to the hospital, the downtime, and of course, most of the guys that work for me have families, and I don't like to see them injured. So I think any employer that really wants to run a good job site needs to be concerned.
ISANTA, the International Staple, Nail, and Tool Association, and all of its members who manufacture these tools and fasteners continue to be focused and dedicated to creating a safe workplace for all power fastening users. Through a cooperative effort known as the Power Fastening Safety Alliance, ISANTA is actively working with a number of safety-minded trade associations to encourage and create a work environment that is both safe and productive. The Alliance created this information to educate and encourage new and experienced tool users to work safely and effectively on the job. We want to create an awareness in each and every worker and employer to always encourage and practice proper tool use. If everyone participates, there will be fewer chances for unsafe conditions, reduced downtime, fewer accidents, and less worry for all. Tool users, employers, and suppliers all agree on 4 work habits that are vital to the safe use of power nailers and staplers. These tips offer effective ways to work safe while getting the most from your power tools and fasteners. They include: choose a trigger system for your specific needs. Keep your finger off the trigger when not working. Wear safety glasses. And finally, always remember to read and understand all safety instructions. Let's take a moment and look at each. Choose a trigger system for your specific needs. Be aware that manufacturers offer power nailers and staplers with 2 kinds of trigger systems: bounce fire and non-bounce fire. Non-bounce fire tools are activated when first the tool's safety, or nose, is depressed, and next the trigger is pulled. Bounce fire tools can be activated one of 2 ways: by either pulling the trigger while bouncing the tool along the work surface, or depressing the tool's safety against the work, then pulling the trigger. Different manufacturers have different names for each. The names aren't important. Making the right choice for each job is. Find out about your choices from your tool supplier or manufacturer and choose the one that helps you do your job and better protects you and your fellow workers. Keep your finger off the trigger when not working. If you're not actually driving fasteners, get used to releasing the trigger, moving your finger away from the trigger, and carry the tool by the handle. Wear safety glasses. You have only 2 eyes, so please remember to wear eye protection with side shields when using the tools. Read and understand all safety instructions. Products differ between manufacturers and between models as well. Reading and following all the instructions and information allows you to use the equipment in the safest way. Use of any power fastening equipment begins with treating your tools and work area with respect and caution. By making safety a partnership effort of all users, employers, and suppliers of fastener products, everyone can experience the power of safety by making the right tool choice to reduce the risk of injury. A well-reasoned choice helps power fastening productivity and brings out the real power in power fastening systems, a safe workplace.
The business of safety is definitely a partnership. I mean, it's if nothing else, for your own safe preservation, it does everyone else a big benefit. It's not a perceived benefit because nothing actually happens, because the things that happen are accidents. So the benefit is then having nothing happen. That's a much better day.
Safety is an individual choice. It's an individual education that can be complemented by an employer, by a manufacturer, and I think that the responsibility for safety comes ultimately down to the person using a piece of equipment that's going to put them in a position of getting hurt. If you're not familiar with a piece of equipment and you go ahead and use it and you misuse it, it's your fault.
Choosing a trigger system for your specific needs is important, even though a lot of the guys on the crew don't like to switch from one to the other because it's a pain, and a lot of them simply don't like the sequential nailer that you have to pull every time. You can't just bounce fire it rapidly. Switching to that as opposed to having a constant bounce fire gun all the time makes a big difference.
I do think that a trigger system should be specific to the need of the gun. For a long time, we always did a bounce fire framing gun. Certain of the guns do bounce fire now for certain sheathing applications, roofing applications, and I use the staple guns I always keep as a bounce fire. Since we do careful higher end homes, residential construction, it's my call. I answer them because that's my job. I'm safe, you know, I'm the safety man. I'm the person that is ultimately responsible. I'll be the person that I'm also the person that's going to send the bills out. Don't worry about the production part. I am the production. The most important thing I try to instill in all of my employees, and even myself, is keeping the finger off the trigger when you're not using a power tool. That goes for any power tool for that matter.
Well, the biggest rule that people have a hard time following is keeping your finger off the trigger on a fastening system gun. And you see a lot of guys do it. A lot of guys don't get hurt, but some do because of that fact. And if you could get everybody to do it, it would be a lot safer.
I started out framing in the industry, hand framing, not using a pneumatic nailer, but hand framing per se. And one of my framing buddies managed to have a nail ding off of a plate when he struck it with his hammer, and it went into his eye, and it poked him pretty good. It didn't blind him, but after that I decided it's just not worth it. So I've always worn glasses since then, usually sunglasses that are tempered, either tempered glass or the safety plastics that they have now. And it also helps because it cuts down the UV light deterioration that occurs to eyes. I wear contact lenses, so it keeps the dust and debris out of my eyes a lot more.
Wearing safety glasses should be a no-brainer. Everybody should wear safety glasses on the job, whether you're shooting a nailing gun or hand nailing or carrying a piece of lumber. It's just a no-brainer. It's no problem to wear them, and everybody should wear them.
Getting hurt sucks, and safety is an everyday thing. I mean, I had an accident Good Friday and cut a piece of my finger off, and ever since I've done that, it just opened my eyes to safety. I mean, I was safe about some things. You know, obviously I wouldn't go walking across something that was all ice and everything, but now it's just a bigger deal because I realized after
6 weeks, 8 weeks of nursing a finger back, it sucks, and it's not worth it.
So what is safety? In plain terms, it's the choice to work productively and with less risk of injury. ISANTA encourages you, the tool users and employers, to follow safety procedures every day with every tool. And remember to follow the 4 easy steps to tool safety we've heard from the pros. Choose a trigger system for your specific needs. Keep your finger off the trigger when not working. Wear safety glasses. And finally, always remember to read and understand all safety instructions. As we've heard, it is possible to work productively and safely, especially when you develop safe work habits. Remember, power fasteners come with safety instructions, and the tools have important safety information on the labels. Read and follow the instructions and warnings. Before working with the power fastening tool of your choice, set the goal of being well informed so you can better work productively and safer.
Even though you're familiar with the safety instructions and operation of the tool, some tools have unique features or different types of safeties, and you're never going to find out about those without reading the instructions.
I feel it's very important to read the labels and the safety instructions that come with the tools that you're buying, and take a few minutes to sit down and read everything over and read the labels on your tools before you even use them.
You can prove safety by yourself just by checking your tool regularly. When you take it out of the truck first thing in the morning, make sure that the nose slides, make sure the trigger's working right, make sure that there's no busted parts on it, obviously. And when you pick it up, plug it in and give it a shot once. If it's not shooting right, don't use it, basically. I mean, it's like it goes back to the same thing. It's common sense. You wouldn't pick up a gun, an actual gun, never knowing if it's ever been fired or anything, and go out and expect, just pull off a shot. You wouldn't do that. You want to make sure that it was safe.
Framing walls can be really boring if you do it over and over and over and over. So you do something to make it fun. You frame all the walls off of a slab so that when you stand in the house, you stand it all at once. Just to be different, make it a little different. And safety is something like that. People kind of poo-poo it. They look at it like, oh, God, I don't want to do that. So you need to be creative.
We call them toolbox talks, to go through and we'll pick out a different item. We have a talk every 2 weeks, and we'll pick out different items: power, saws, nail guns. And for the new guys, it's something new, and for the old guys, it's more or less a refresher course, just to keep them aware of what can happen.
The best tip I could give somebody is that safety is a concern that should be right up there with your payroll, with your bottom line, with everything else, because it affects the whole business. So slow down, take a step back, take a breather, and regard safety as an important part of the job, the project, every day.